All right, guys, we are here. We are live on Viral Hip Hop News. And I am a subscriber to Viral Hip Hop News. I go by the name of Sub Zero 3639. I have been subscribed to this channel for years. I watched a lot of their content. Uh, because of the industry that I'm in, I tend to, get a lot of different, get a lot of their content. And today I wanted to come on here and talk about the tech industry. I have a few of my students that are going to be guests here today. They just going to come in and just tell people about their personal experiences in the IT industry. I have Charles he got Python done down there, and then I got Anthony. I call him Ant. He one of me and him talk offline a lot of times about all types of stuff. But anyway, uh, I just wanted to come on here, man, and really talk about the tech industry and why you need to be really interested in joining this field. First of all, um, let me. Hey, what's up, y'all? I've been doing this for a while. I've been teaching IT. First of all, let me tell you who I am. My name is Bill. Actually, I have been in this industry for about 14 years now. I've worked on various projects, worked with the government, worked with private industry. I've been an IT contractor, and when you hear so many people talking about IT, you the main thing you want to be aware of is the amount of money that you can make. That's what we're here for, guys. The amount of money that people can make in this industry is astronomical. In the sense, I'm actually a little fish. In the sense, I mean, I do okay, but I've seen people make millions in this industry, and I'm not talking about like CEOs or people that sit on boards. I'm talking about people that just they run the IT department or something like that. Now, obviously, you may be like, well, yeah, but I'm sure you have to have so many years and so many certifications and so many degrees. Actually, you don't. You don't even have to have a high school diploma, technically. Well, I'm sorry, you have to have a high school diploma, or if you got a GED or whatever, that's about it. And then, of course, they don't just take that as from off the street cold turkey. If you come in there, you need experience. You do need certifications. Now, what we tend to offer is I offer just that. I remember some years ago when I was trying to get into this industry, it was very difficult. It was extremely difficult for me to get people that really wanted to hear my side of the story and say, hey, I know I don't have any experience, but this job pays 110,000, 120,000. And you'll see that's the type of money we're talking about. We're not talking about no small amount of money. I'm from the South. I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. That's a lot of money in Montgomery, Alabama. I know some of you guys maybe, oh, that's okay. Well, hey, maybe so. But for the average, according to the average African American, we're talking about only about 3 to 5% of us even can get north of $100,000, right? Now, what we've been able to do, and what a few of my students have been able to do, has been able to snag 2 jobs paying $100,000, working from home. Every day we get up. For me, going to work is just rolling over and grabbing a laptop. That's it. I lay in the bed. I don't get out the bed half the time at 12 noon to go to the bathroom or go get something to drink. So for me, it's a very laid back life. My wife has quit her job. We travel, we go all over. As long as I got those laptops, I can go to Florida, I can go to Miami, I can go wherever, right? It's a comfortable lifestyle. My son is in private school. I'm setting money aside for him every month in investments so that when he turns in his 30s, he doesn't have to punch a clock like his dad, right? But I'm able to do that because of this. Now, if you go back and rewind the clock, years ago, I was, 15, 14 years ago, I had a suspended driver's license, broke, struggling, $13,000 worth of tickets. And I didn't see, it seemed insurmountable. I didn't really see a way out of it. And, God blessed me to be able to get into this industry and pay those tickets off and renew my license, driver's license, which was, for some people, that's a big problem because you get these tickets and the judge slaps a $1,200 fee on top of each ticket. And next thing you know, you owe $14,000, $12,000, $13,000 in tickets. So that's where I've been, man. I've been that guy. I've been here, and a lot of my students, what we've been able to do is, a lot of my students are able to matriculate into this industry and make a substantial income. So I'm gonna introduce Charles. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here, bro.
All right, bro. So let me say this, man. Charles just wait a minute. I think he got his job a while ago, maybe a month ago or something. I can't remember. Month and a
Yeah,
half
I
ago.
started the day after Thanksgiving. So I mean
Okay.
the week after Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Okay, so Charles is a member of a group of brothers, and I'll play the little video that they did. But they basically, he's a member of a group of brothers that were able to help each other, and all three of them have over, make over 100,000 a year. So go ahead and tell your story, brother.
All right. Well, my name's Charles. Like Sub said, I started with the LTV Academy back in. Just to start off, I started actually 2 years ago. Things were going well. I was able to get in the sequel portion. It was kind of difficult for me, but I was figuring it out. But life happened. I had a child, so I kind of trickled off. Things fell out. Fast forward to this year, I was able to hop back into it in kind of a sideline course that was taught by some of the alumni, some of the people who've already graduated from the course and have already got positions. They actually help and volunteer their time to help us out. So long story short, we were in the class doing that. We learned first SQL, which is structured query language. That's the that's the type of coding that's used to access databases, manipulate databases. We then moved on to a software called SSIS, which is a way to do what's called ETL, which is a very high demand skill right now. And then from there, we moved on to SSRS, which is visualization, being able to take those insights that we create and put them into a visualization, charts, or reports. Um, and we went through that. We had a series of tests and interviews we had to go through with the instructor. They were pretty strict. They didn't let us slide through. They made sure we knew what we needed to know. But we were able to get through all three of those interviews. It took us about 5 months. We finished in October. After October, we enlisted help again of some of the alumni who had jobs before to help us kind of know what to expect, what to get into the industry. Immediately, we started interviewing, and I was able to get an offer for my first job within 3 weeks. I actually had two offers at the same time, but I was so excited, I just went for the first one I could get, of course. Um, and during this whole time, I had a study group, like Sub mentioned. Us three, we studied every night, an hour or two a night. We would text each other back and forth. The biggest thing was just trying to make sure we kept immersing ourselves in the studies because none of us came from a tech background. Um, I am a STEM background. I come from life sciences. I was actually an animal scientist, which is completely opposite. So this was not anything that I understood at all. I came from scratch, and all the information it came from Sub. And I have to say, I followed the program like he said, and they led me to the bag. I can't speak highly enough about this course. Not only
Man,
did I
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it.
Now, I was gonna say, not only did I was I able to go through and get the job, which was the ultimate goal, but I was able to become a part of a community of people that are growing and learning. A lot of African American people, but other people all together. So it's changed me into a different person. We looking for the next thing now. So like you said, we got 6-figure incomes now, and we're still learning new things. Because if we could get 6 figures within 5 months, what can we do in the next 5 months? That's how I see it now.
That's it. And listen, guys, once you get your first project, I tell all my students, once you get your first job, once you work in that first project, you can go and start doing multiple projects at once, which is what I do. Um, Once you're competent, you know what you're doing, you understand the business logic within that organization, and you work from home, and they paying you 120. I mean, why not go get another one paying you another 120? So basically, what this is a way for you to, I mean, worst case, make 160, 170 and go out there. You get two jobs paying you 80 or 90 a piece, right? And you can make that money. What could you do with a $3,000 check every week, right? I have two jobs. One job pays me every Friday, like clockwork, and then the other job pays me on the 1st and the 15th. So every once in a while, I'll have like a weekend where I get a substantial amount of money in my bank account, and I have it spread out over different accounts. but I get a substantial amount from two different jobs every week, every Friday. And I bet you like, well, what is this, bragging? No, I'm not bragging at all. What I'm telling you is this could be you. This could be you in a matter of months, right? So next we're gonna go to Ant. Those Ant, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So Ant is from Ohio, good brother, smart brother. Ant is more of a self-learner type individual. His story is gonna be a little different, but go ahead, man.
Like Seb said, my name is Ant or Anthony. Y'all can just call me Ant. I started at LTV in May of 2021, and I was self-taught. It was alumni who taught the course. Fred, shout out to Fred. That's another good brother, man. He definitely a game changer, man. I picked up a lot from him and Sub, like they work ethic and their drive. But anywho, I picked up the sequel aspect of it. And then as far as all the materials that Sub provides in this course inside the Facebook group, I started learning SSIS, and then I didn't learn the SSRS portion, but that's very useful though in the job market. Very useful skill. It's not too difficult to pick up either. But I trickled off to Power BI, so picked up those three skill sets. My journey was a little longer because I wanted to make sure I had all the skill sets down to be real competent in it. So it took me a year and about 4 months to pick up a job, and nice entry role, double my income. Just I had a little girl probably like 2 months prior to getting a job, and it's definitely a life changing experience, honestly, because I didn't come from a tech background at all. Like I came from an athletic background. I went to college, but I didn't graduate per se. But play. I was working in the factory field. Not I was making decent bread, but it's not like how the potential earnings in tech. I essentially doubled my income and just very grateful for the opportunity. Just like Sub just pointed out, I knew about tech a little bit, but the way he just pointed out the lane, and I took the route. I ran the route and just stuck to it, and then it actually happened. So you definitely want to get you going when you get in, you're gonna meet a network of people. You definitely want to stay in contact with them and keep studying. Just don't give up. You can definitely get there, man. You don't even have to have a computer science degree or any of that.
So, all right. So I see a few questions coming. I'm about to go to Marvin. Thanks, Ant. I appreciate it, brother. So let me first go
No
ahead and
problem.
just go to Indeed. I'm gonna go to Indeed right quick, and I'm gonna show y'all what we're talking about, so you guys understand. So, this class coming up is data analytics. But let's just say we're looking for you're gonna learn Tableau. Let's look at Tableau, right? Oops, can't type today. Tableau developer, right? And there we go. So, Tableau developer, a lot of these jobs are remote. So, if we go down here, let's see. Okay, right here, Tableau developer, 60 to $85 an hour. Um, so that's what that about 120 to 170, right? These are the different skill sets you can get. Let's see what else. Tableau reports developer, light travel, 70 to $100 an hour. Junior Python engineer. Now, Python is something that we were about to teach, and we'll probably have that coming in the next few months. But right now, we don't offer that. But I've taught I did some Python when I was doing the Power BI segment of the course, and we're gonna go over Power BI as well. But let me see. Here's another one. Cognos. That in the background. Okay, so we got a Cognos developer, 82,000 to 146,000. Now, let me tell you the beautiful thing about me. I bet you like, well, man, I ain't got no experience, man. How I'm gonna get the job? Yeah, you train me, but how am I gonna get the job? Well, I have a saying at Lifting the Veil. We trying to win, bro. I'm a country boy from Alabama. I'm very direct. I'm not just because I do IT, I'm not all pretentious and snooty. Look, we trying to win. We trying to get to these dollars. So what we do, like for example, and Thad is in the background, but he not in up. I'm gonna let him up in a second. These guys, man, we have students that are interviewed, and we listen to the interviews. I'm grimy with it. I'll let you listen to an interview from an organization that I took or somebody else took. We record interviews. We don't play fair. I know that's, I don't even think that's illegal. I learned this with 14 years of experience in IT working around Indians, and I've seen them like do whatever they have to do, man. Like I've seen them come into environments. I was working on a project at Career Builder, and this girl, an Indian girl, sat next to me, adjacent to me, by the name of Bagia. What's up, champion? What's up, Array? And Bagia was sitting adjacent to me, man, and they used to come and help her, man. He would come to her and sit down. I'm talking about the other Indians would. Now, they wouldn't help me, but they would help her. And I remember this was like I had been doing IT maybe 6-7 months. And I was on this project for maybe 3 weeks, a month, and I got let go, but she didn't. Now, she was just as lost as I was, but the Indians came and they gave her the answers, so to speak. They told her, when you go in there, say this, say that, make sure you say this. And I was like, dang, they helping her. She stayed there for, I don't know, about 6 months. You know what I'm saying? We as African Americans, a lot of times, this isn't just for African Americans. I taught all types of students from all races, all creeds. It doesn't matter. So this isn't just for Black people, but predominantly that's who tends to take my class. It just works out like that. But let me say, so I don't run from it. But let me say this: we don't really stick together when it comes to stuff like this. When I initially was starting lifting the veil, I had a friend of mine who does IT tell me, man, you shouldn't do that, man. Man, if people were going to be in IT, they would be in there. These people don't really have the aptitude. I mean, it's literally the type of stuff people say. And I'm like, dude, you act like this is rocket science. It's not. It's really not. Like, you could listen. If you take my class, within 3 weeks, I will play a live interview from an organization that might be paying $60, $70 an hour, right? You will know exactly what they're talking about. When they start talking, you'll understand it because it'll be the exact same. I do this with every class. And guys, y'all can vouch for me. Marvin, I know I did this with your class. You next. Whenever I do a class, guys, I always play interviews from real world organizations that are paying 6 figures. And the reason I do that is because I say, see here, this is what I already been teaching you for 3 weeks, and you already know. You might not know the answer, but you are familiar. Some students, if they study and following directions, will know the answers. But if you're not studying and you just coming in half-assed, you'll know in the first 3 weeks that, oh my God, this is the real deal. That happens every class. In every class, it never fails. And the beautiful thing about my class, I like to have it where you can unmute your microphone and talk, because I'm a communicator. I don't believe in coming into a situation and you don't know how to talk. Are you typing in a chat? And no, you come to me, you unmute and you talk. Hey, sub, I ain't get that, man. Go back over that. Right? And what happens is I say, okay, cool, go back over it. Are there any questions, guys? I just covered this select statement. I just covered this case statement. Any construct of the language, SQL. SQL is the gatekeeper. That's the language that's gonna put everybody on, right? SQL. So that's the thing. So let me go ahead with Marvin. Marvin, you there? Marvin. Okay, Marvin, I guess he's busy right now. So as soon as Marvin come back, we'll go ahead and get him up. But I'm going to say this, man. I've been doing...
I'm here, Kent. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So Marvin and his brother got a job. I taught 2 brothers. They both got jobs. They live in Tuscaloosa. They from Tuscaloosa. I ain't saying where they live at, but they're from Tuscaloosa. Go ahead, Marvin. Tell them about your experience. Was I lying about that whole situation? After the first 3 weeks, I always play an interview, and it sounds exactly like what you guys are used to. That's usually how it goes, right?
Yeah, that is usually how it goes, man. And you definitely not lying. And yeah, anybody that knows me, like, which sees, everybody here on this, I guess on this call right now, they know me, like, bro, like I'm a serial interview recorder. Pretty much I think, yeah, pretty much every interview I've ever been on, I've recorded it. And and this real, and to me, like, it's real key to record it because you have something to review after the fact. You can go back, listen to it. Like you said, you could share it with other people. They can listen to it. It's just really beneficial to to record your interviews. So, but yeah, with that said, yeah. So yeah, like I said, my name's Marvin Witt. I took subclass. I think it was back in 2019, in October 2019, somewhere in there, I believe. So it's been a minute. But like Sub said, me and my brother, we both took the class together. We went through the whole process. Went through the sequel, the SSRS, the SSIS, and just for a little, I guess a little bit of background on me. Like my background is a little bit different from from Charles and Ant. I actually went to the University of Alabama and studied computer science. However, I didn't finish my degree, so that's currently incomplete. But so I actually had somewhat of a technical background coming into this. My brother, he also went to the University of Alabama. He studied chemical engineering, and he did complete his degree. So I guess he also, you could say, yeah, also he had also a technical engineering background, although not necessarily, I would say, in programming. Although I think, if you do any type of engineering courses, you're going to do a little bit of programming eventually. It's some type in one of your classes, but that's kind of that's kind of like our background. So like I said, like, so this is show that like this.
Let me say this,
like
Marvin.
this,
Let me say
like
this,
this,
Marvin.
yeah.
Hold on, Marvin. Let me say this, Marvin. You've taught. You actually volunteered and taught this last class. Well, not the last class, but you taught last year. And
He taught us.
Charles, exactly. In Lima, which is one of my former students. All of these are like former students. The people that are teaching now came through the course. And they know what they're talking about, and they learn different skill sets, and they come back, they teach stuff. I'm not exhaustive on IT. I don't know everything. I don't know Tableau, right? But Lima can teach Tableau. Well, I taught Lima, about 2017? And now she's finna teach a class because she got 5-6 years of experience, legit experience. So that's the beautiful thing about it. Go ahead, Marvin. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like, not only are you paying for the class to get exposure to these different technologies that subs by the subs, offering, you also buying into a network as well. Because I'm saying, like heck, like my boy Ant, man, on the call with us, man. Like we haven't done it recently because Fred, he's been busy, but typically we get together like every other Wednesday, man. We just chop it up. We just touch bases, see what's going on with each other. Maybe we'll go over some stuff, some sequel or whatever, man. Whatever everybody wants to show, just to keep everybody exposed and to keep everybody fresh, pretty much. So I would say that's like the biggest selling point when you really think about it. Just you getting like access to this network of like people who are actually out in the field working. That's a big, that's a big deal.
Look, man,
like for example,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like for example, like my buddy Fred, I think he also taught one of the sub classes. I think before me, and he had a lady that went through his class, and she got hired on, and she was on the gig, and it was a situation where I think her manager told her to do something, and she wasn't quite sure how to do it, but she was kind of on the deadline. She didn't really know. I guess she wasn't really sure where to start or who to ask. And Fred actually gave her my number. She called me. She explained the situation, and right then and there, we hopped on the Zoom, and I just again let her explain the situation. We just walked through it, and we just and right then and there, like we pretty much solved it. And she went, and then she went off, and then like a couple of days later, she reached back out to me, said, "Hey, hey, what we did, hey, it worked. That was what they're looking for. Thanks." It's things like that, So I said,
Let me say this, guys. But I just want to add a couple of things. First of all, there's a brother. He said that it can't be taught, and I understand where he's coming from because I see where people sometimes may feel as though, well, if you don't have an analytical mind, you can't do IT. IT's not for me. I've taught so many people. I speak to I do consultations for free. If you want a free consultation, you want to talk to me on the phone, get on the website, click book consultation right here, and just enter a time. I'll go ahead and talk to you one-on-one live. I'll call you and we'll talk. But let me say this, man. I do believe that analytical skills are like a muscle, though. I don't think it's something that can't be taught. I think, your mind is going to bend a certain way because you're not accustomed to doing it. But I don't think that certain people just so and so just doesn't have it. Like, and like I said, IT people tend to be very analytical. Me, I ran businesses, I flipped houses, I played basketball overseas. I did a lot. I didn't start IT till I was 35 years old. So for me, I came in different. And so I look at it different. I don't look at it like some people. If you've been doing this since you got out of college at 22, you might be like, well, this is just how it is. Not everybody can do it. I believe everybody can do it. I just think it takes the experience, the time, and that's it. You just have to put the time in, and you just have to have the right attitude. When you're trying to work, like when you're a child and you're trying to learn how to walk, right? Like when you're an infant and you're looking at everybody walk, the children never get frustrated, or not children, but infants and toddlers and whatever, when they first starting to walk, they never get frustrated. They fall down probably thousands of times. And then you never see them get frustrated about it. They figure it out. And as we become older and society tells us, oh, you should get this in a matter of weeks. No, I've had students where it took them damn near a year to get it. I had students that it took them a year to get a job. Not because they would, like I had one student, he took my class. He got a job, his first job, like second interview. He got his job, right? Got in there, something came back. He wound up having to quit because it was some stuff I didn't know. I didn't understand at the time how to set people up with that. So he wound up having to quit that job, which we don't have too many students having to do that anymore. But back then, it was certain things I didn't understand about the hiring process as far as getting your resume ready and stuff like that. Now I understand how to do that. But back then, he wound up letting the job go. And he was frustrated. He was in a slump. Man, it took this brother almost 8 months, 9 months to get another job because his mentality. And I would call him, be like, bro, you had a job. You was making like $50 an hour. You got the skills. You have the skills, man. You can do it. I kept telling him. He went back out there and he got a job. Now the brother has worked and he's working 2 jobs. When I met him, he was depressed on his mom's couch and unemployed. He's my first student, right? Named Mark. Y'all might see him on my YouTube channel sometime. Mark is my, me and him pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? He just got married, but they buying a house. He started a business on the side. I mean, people from all walks of life, man, if you train that muscle in your mind, it's just like math, man. If some people think, oh, you don't have the skills to do the math. You don't have that analytical mind. No, it's a muscle. And if you don't use that muscle, it'll atrophy and you'll wind up being weak. But if you work that muscle, like me, I wouldn't consider myself an IT background. I came up from a blue collar background. My dad was a painter. My mom fixed hair. I had a 1.9 GPA coming out of high school, right? I know that's laughable, right? I made a 14 on the ACT. I'm everything that they say that you shouldn't be able to do, I did it. They told me I shouldn't play college basketball. They told me I shouldn't, you don't have this, you don't have that, but I was able to do it. Now I've been doing IT for 14 years. And I wouldn't say I'm the best developer, but I'm able to function within certain organizations. And that's the way it works. But as far as this question, as you said, what are the hours on average? I work from home, so I get up at I don't have a stand-up meeting till 10:30. So I'll get up on an average day, check my email, go do a little work. If I got some things I want to hit somebody up before the meeting to be prepared, I'll hit somebody up on Teams, and the next thing you know, that person will be able to help me out with getting the stand-up meeting, and we'll start talking. And from there, a lot of times, after that meeting, nobody really bothers you like that. I mean, you have to be able to finish your work, but it's not like somebody's watching a clock like, okay, you got here at 8 o'clock. You need to be here at 5. Nobody cares, man. I see people leave at 2:30, 3 o'clock sometime. We don't see them till the next day. You have to get your job done. That's what they measure it by. You know, are you completing the tasks, the tickets that are assigned to you in Jira, which we'll explain? Are you reaching out, communicating with your team lead and things like that, making sure that everything's getting done? But nobody's watching me like that. It's pretty laid back, to be honest with you. So, but if I had to give you set hours, I would say if you're going into a work like in an office and you have set hours, I would say that what you're looking at probably about 9 to 5 is just like any other job usually. You know what I'm saying? So, that's where we are. Let's see. Got anything, Marvin, or anybody, Anthony or Charles? Y'all got anything to say?
Yeah. Actually, so yeah.
Go ahead.
But let me finish. I think I got off on a tangent there, but like I said, so again, I went through the process. Me and my brother, we finished it. We passed our interviews, and then it was kind of different for both of us. It felt like Maurice, he got hired like right out the gate. Like I felt like he only did like maybe like 3 or 4 interviews. And he got hired with a company like it felt like right away. And I think because he actually has his degree, that kind of helped it like speed that up, the process of getting hired on. But you don't need a degree. But I think it definitely sped things up a bit. Because like for me, it took about a good like 8 months to get hired on somewhere. And like I probably like done like someone
we
like
had
10,
that resume mishap. We figured all that out, but he had a resume mishap. He's one of them as well.
that too.
Back then, I didn't learn. I was like, okay, we got to stop doing that. So we changed some things around to where now we don't have those problems. But back then, I didn't know because I'm learning. I'm learning myself. And when I first started, my brother, who is the guy who teaches the Oracle Financials, and I see this question here. He's saying, what about Oracle Financials? I'm going to say this. Oracle Financials is like the economic section portion of working with major corporations, dealing with their accounts receivables, accounts payables, their different things like that. So that's what Oracle Financials is. Salesforce is a customer relationship management platform that is used to, maintain the relationships between customers. Salesforce has its own ecosystem, and we start in that class next month. It has its own ecosystem of badges and places where you can go and, I guess, proof of work. You can prove your skill set, and people can see how many points you got on the website. It's called Trailhead, where you can go in there and they can see how many points you got and say, oh, okay, this guy has X amount of badges, even if you have no experience. Now, Salesforce, we train you for the certification. Probably in March or April, I'm just trying to see, I'm going to be teaching the data engineering course for Azure. So that's where we're going with that. So we're getting away from the old-fashioned SSIS, SSRS. We're moving away from that, and we're going into the cloud. So the stuff you see right here, right now, was what I taught most of everybody on this panel, but that's going away. We'll still be teaching SSRS, but we're going to teach Power BI, which is now the updated version of pretty much what SSRS used to bring to the equation. And we're going to do Tableau, and we're going to do okay. Got Landreas in the background. Let me mute him right quick and bring him up. Yeah. So, I think those skill sets are in high demand. Like I said, most of these jobs over here, these are 6-figure skill sets. We're not talking about, look, I'm not wasting your time. Your first job is $15 an hour working in some little call center. And there are people, I've been doing consultations for years. I get in trouble when I say what doesn't pay. So I don't want to say what skill sets don't pay. But there are some that you can get into in IT. And unless you have 10 years and X amount of $8,000 certifications, you ain't going to make no money. I just don't want to say what those are because I don't want to start, people get real testy about saying stuff doesn't pay that well. So I don't want to say what pays well and what doesn't. But what I will tell you is that I don't believe in teaching a skill set if it don't pay $100,000. I think it's a waste of time. Every one of these skill sets you see up here are $100,000 skill sets. We're not playing. We're not out here trying to teach stuff that you can get at your local community college. And there certain community colleges that teach good things, yes. So I'm not saying all of them, but what I'm saying is the average community college is going to teach you the basic introduction to computer type stuff. You ain't getting no job like that. And if you do, it's going to be $15 to $20. And I mean, come on, man, who want to make $20 an hour to start? I'm trying to get you starting at $50 an hour. So that's what we are. We're not trying to play around. We're not trying to get you stuck in a situation where you're making, bare minimum, right? What's up, Landreas? Landreas. Hello. I guess he's not ready yet. But yeah, man. Like I said, this class has been going on for about, I say, a few years. I'm gonna go ahead and play an ad for you.
Hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, man. I'm gonna set this ad up while you play. Go ahead for a second. Go ahead and tell them about your experience.
Okay, right? So as you just heard, Sub is a proponent of building human capital, and he really stresses getting a skill set that pays. In LTV Academy, he basically takes these around 15 years of experiences and downloads them into you, where you have that same knowledge base and you basically know everything that he knows. It took a lot of hard work and perseverance, but I actually gained that skill set that's going to pay me for life. And that's something that nobody can actually take away from you. There's a lot of options that you can actually go to outside of the program, I'm sure. But in my opinion, LTV Academy is much more nurturing, and you get things that you basically not going to get from some Udemy course. He teaches you certain things to watch out for, such as, knowing how to talk on these interviews and speaking the lingo and just all around culture. And he just sets you up for success. He gives you the cheat code. Now my life has totally changed. I basically doubled my income. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. And if you're in the financial,
let me ask you a question. I want everybody to answer this question. Have you faced major racism in your job environment? Like, you just got a job, Landreas. How long you been working?
No.
Well, you just got yours. You just got yours the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, I just got. I got one more interview, but it's pretty much just a formality.
Yeah. You meeting the team in that last interview, but Landreas just got his. But I want the other people to answer that question. Go ahead and finish your point, though. I don't want to cut you off. You go ahead and finish first.
Yeah. So basically, I essentially doubled my income. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm a living testimony. And if you're pretty much in a situation where you feel stuck and you're in a financial rut and you want to get the needle moving, come to Lifting the Veil at IT Academy and make your pockets great again. That's that.
Make your pockets
great
again.
I
hear you, bro.
Yes, sir.
I hear you. So let me go ahead and answer this question about racism. Have I faced racism in my 14 years? Have I seen racist people? Yes, I have. But I faced racism wherever I worked at. I've seen racist people when I was a produce manager making $13, right? But I'm gonna tell you something about IT. I'm not gonna say that IT doesn't have racist people in it, because that'll be lying. But what I will tell you is, I think that IT, if you are competent, and that's why when you look at my website, I have Booker T. Washington as the avatar, because I went to Tuskegee University. I respect Booker T. I know what he was about. I know how people feel about him. I don't want to go into the coon conversation. But what I'm saying is, I respect Booker T. Washington because I feel like Booker T. Washington represented Black excellence and mastering our skills and mastering trades, right? I have the saying on my website, the quote from Booker T. It says, "We will prosper in proportion as we learn to dignify and glorify labor and put brain and skill into the common occupations of life." Ultimately, I don't think racism should be anything that you fear if you have a skill set like this, because I've ran into racist people. I've been fired. I got into it with a guy. We didn't really get into it heavy, but I knew the guy wanted to fire me. I ain't gonna say it was because of race, but he didn't like me. I got fired. I got a job literally a week later, making $40,000 more. I think I was making like 90. Then I jumped. That was the first time I jumped over 100,000. I got a job a week later, man. It was just and I took a 2-week vacation and said, screw it. I'm just gonna take this little money. I'm going traveling, probably go down to Miami, chill out a little bit, get drunk, have fun, screw it, you know, and then I'm gonna go and jump into whatever the next project is. That's what this is about. This isn't about who's racist, who's not. This is about winning. That's what we're trying to practice. Marvin, have you faced racism since you've been in IT? Marvin, are you there?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good. No, so I wouldn't say not like outright, dead avert racism, but I have been in situations where I'm pretty sure just because I'm black, it was assumed that, hey man, well, maybe he doesn't know how to do this, or are people like questioning like, hey, why you do this? And it's like, and like I explained to him why I did this, and to me it's like, hey, it's a like this like the reason why I did is a pretty good reason. Like, what's up, So I've had situations like that. I had questionable situations, but as far as outright racism, no, I wouldn't say so. I mean, really, like you said, so this is really just a matter of, do you have the skills or not? If you have the skills, if you interview well, if you can get in there, that's really what it's all about.
And yeah, I would have to say
Maurice here too, so Maurice just came in.
Yeah, I would have to second
go
that.
Go ahead, Maurice.
I haven't experienced overt racism, but like covert racism a little bit, because on some of these projects that I got on, the project I was just on, our team lead was a white guy, so they assumed like everything to come to him, and I kind of had to show them that, hey, I knew this too, just as much as him. So basically, I haven't seen any overt racism, but kind of covert, but no racism like, hey, we should fire this dude because he don't know crap though. But other than that, yeah.
I mean, look, every time, and I had to learn this when I got into IT, I had to learn that every time somebody comes at you and says something, you got to understand, man, like sometimes people are coming at you because you screwed up. And I would misinterpret it when I first got in as racism. Like, no, this guy is getting upset because they gave you a deadline. You didn't meet the deadline. You have to always ask yourself, and this is what I tell my students, we have to kind of deprogram. This is something that I don't necessarily, you don't get this when you go to some little certification boot camp. They don't tell you all this. But I've been fired. I've been escorted out by the police before. So I know how to come at this from a black perspective, how to, you know what I'm saying, and this is not that I'm saying, hey, so what are you saying? You don't want to teach people from other races? Of course I do, but usually I wind up teaching African Americans, and I would tell anybody, I don't care what walk of life you're from, white, Asian, Indian, whatever. If I teach, I'll be like, hey, people are going to expect you to do certain things, and you have to do it. And if you don't, then, like when I got escorted out by the police, it was my fault. It wasn't that the guy thought I was going to hurt him. That was just, sometimes in corporate environments, that's how they let people go. That's just me. I'm like, dude, I ain't finna hurt nobody. You could have just told me. I wouldn't even came to work today. I'm very simple, but that's how people do in corporate environments sometimes. They call the police. They don't want to let people have, because, white people in a lot of corporate environments, sometimes historically, not just white, but typically people have in past, some people in the past have come back and went. That's why the phrase going postal comes from, right? Somebody gets terminated, they're upset, they come back and they start shooting. So that's why they did it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't anything personal. The guy was like, hey man, sorry, man, this happened, we felt like this. I said, man, I'm good. You know why? Because I saved my money, which is what I tell my students. Save your money, start you a LLC or corporation, make sure they pay that money directly into that corporation. I have a lady who comes and speaks to a lot of classes. She talks about obtaining government contracts, getting into government contracting when you can land those $1 million contracts. There's a reason that the wealthiest, blackest counties in America are in Prince George's County, up around in Washington, D.C. Those people have government contracts. And there's a gravy train of money. I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. That's where Gunner Air Force Base and Maxwell Air Force Base is. It is the hub of the armed forces. I know a few wealthy black people in Montgomery that have IT contracts, that drive Bentleys and Ferraris in Montgomery, Alabama. And people don't know who they are. Who is that guy in the Ferrari? Oh, that's the guy that got all those government contracts with a private jet. Like I have people that I know that have that kind of money. They get $100 million contracts from the government, and it's just a drop in the bucket for $100 million. But because you're a minority, we have people that set up the minority business. I have somebody that comes in from time to time. She talks to the different classes, and she charges, but it's a separate business. I don't have anything to do with it. But if they sign up, you sign up, she sets you up, and you get your NAC, all these different numbers or whatever you have to get, and then NAIC or whatever they call it. And you wind up submitting for these contracts. Anthony, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, have you dealt with any type of systemic oppression since you've been
So I've been on my job for about 4 months now, and I have not. And also, I believe, like, since IT is you gotta have the skills to pay the bills type of industry. Like, they don't really care about your race per se. Like, yeah, some depending on how far you want to go up and if you play the political game. But honestly, like my job, for instance, like they just bought a visa for someone overseas to bring him over here because he has the skills. He knows that he worked with the company as a contractor, but like he really knows the system so well that they actually invested money in his visa to bring him over here. So if you had the skills, man, you can combat racism, man. Like get the money, just get the money for a few years, do good by your money, stack it up, go get into real estate, be your own boss. You don't really have to deal with racism. That's how I look at it. But you get paid opposed to being
That's it.
a low labor person and not having skills and getting paid 30,000, have a higher skill set, stack your money up, and then you can go do your own thing. That's all it is. So get the skill sets essentially.
That's it, bro. That's it right there. That's what you're talking about. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. I always tell my students, look, man, go get a skill set, make your money, start your business. Look, man, you ain't got to love IT, right? I tell people all the time, there's this myth that they give people, follow your passion. Damn, following your passion. Follow opportunity, right? That's where, like the guy that gave that speech was Steve Jobs. He didn't follow his passion. He got an opportunity and followed it. If you know his life story of Steve Jobs, but he gave that speech at a university and went viral. Now everybody, follow your passion. I don't really like computers. Look, man, if you're gonna pay me $500 to shovel some shit out in the streets, I will shovel shit tomorrow, and I will be a shit shoveler. But you paying me $20,000 a week, I'll do that. I take that. You see what I'm saying? To me, it's about winning. And Asians, I think it's Japanese. The Japanese, there's a guy by the name of Dan Locke. He's on here. He had a video some years ago about a skill set that pays about $10,000 a month, which is what you're looking at. You're looking at one of my check stubs. This is the $5,000 check that I got for working like 8 days on a project. This is $2,300 and another $2,500 right here. So it's about $4,800 they gave me. But I'm going to play this commercial right quick. Then I'm going to come back and tell you about what Dan Locke said.
Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? What you were looking at is a check for almost $5,000 that I made in only 10 days. Before entering into this field, it used to take me 10 entire weeks to earn this amount. I made this amount by putting my IT skills to work as a database developer. We can teach you the ins and outs of IT and launch your IT career in just a matter of months. Hi, we are lifting the veil at IT Academy, an information technology academy that's designed to help individuals quickly acquire the skills they need to launch their IT career. We have taught and placed tons of students in the IT industry. We will have classes starting in January. It can help you get your career on the launching pad. Don't take my word for it. Check out a few of our students.
Okay, yeah, great news for me and the academy. I got a job as an ETL developer with a company just outside of Sacramento, close to where I live. $50 an hour. It's a contract role.
Hey, how you guys doing, man? My name's Lauren. Just got an offer for 74. I guess it breaks down to $1,000 a year.
Hi, my name is Nicole. Thanks to Sub, I've been working in the IT industry for over a year, full time. Not many people can say that they started from knowing, practically practically nothing about this industry to being a full-time working professional is life-changing. He guides you through the entire process. He walks you through everything step by step. It's guaranteed success. I highly recommend you don't hesitate. Just take the class.
I connected with Sub maybe a couple of years ago, right after graduating out of college. Had no ideas about what I wanted to do or which direction I was going to head as it related to the job market. After connecting with him, completing a couple of his courses and a couple of his classes with hands-on training, I wound up getting my first job, making a little over $100,000 a year. The skills that I've learned have been invaluable as it relates to being able to pull myself as well as my family into a much better and a much more feasible financial situation. We've been able to do a lot more things than we ever dreamed of being able to do. And so therefore, with that being said, if you're thinking about taking this class, I advise that 100% is probably the best financial decision that you're going to make for yourself and or your family.
Yo, this is Charles. I'm a recent grad of the Lifting the Veil IT Academy. I just really got to take this time to preach on the benefits I got from this program. I'll say I spent a solid 3 to 4 months focused on putting a couple hours a night, and I easily have doubled my salary. When interviewing with these people, they think that I have 5 years experience. The resources we're getting from Sub are definitely worth it, and I would definitely recommend this to anybody else. It's going to be a life-changing course for anybody that takes it serious.
The reviews speak for themselves. Starting in January, Lifting the Veil will be offering nightly classes. Don't miss out on an opportunity to change your financial situation by increasing your human capital. Sign up for a consultation. Let's discuss how we can get your career started.
So you just saw that, and the last brother that was talking, that was Charles. Charles has been working with an organization, and him and as well as I think Landreas, who just got a job, they impressed the people on the interview so much that people were like, man, you know this better than a lot of our developers with 5 years experience. So I've looked, and the thing is, man, I done screwed up so many times on jobs and things like that I think my students, a lot of students are better developers than I am. I got 14 years. Like, well, really? Like, yeah, I'm not egotistical. I don't need to be the smartest guy in the room, right? And so for me, I think I'm impressed. I stand back in awe of the things that they're able to accomplish once they leave. Now, take example that say you don't want to do what I'm teaching. You're like, well, I want to get in IT, but I don't want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, guess what? Get the skill set, get a job, go pay for the trainings and certifications, because you're going to need $5,000 to $10,000 to get the right type of certifications for these jobs a lot of times if you're trying to get these study these skill sets. And what better way to get in than to get a skill set, work. I charge a monthly subscription. It's $297. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all that. But once you work for about 5, 6, not even 5, 6 months, 7 months, you stack up your money. Then you go, hey, the company, a lot of times I've seen companies pay $5,000, $6,000 stipend per year for their employees and fly them halfway across the country to learn at Microsoft, to learn at Salesforce. You go to Oracle and take the Oracle classes. This is literally the way I got into IT. Was my brother got hired in 1996 by Oracle, which was a big deal. And when he got hired by Oracle, he became an Oracle consultant, and the rest is history. I watched him make $250,000 from like the 90 every year. That's what he made every year. So, but look, Charles, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, bro.
Yeah. So, you been how long? You say you've been working a little bit. So, have you seen any racial components? Yeah. Have you seen any racial components? Have you dealt with anything, or is it just as long as you're competent and you know what you're doing?
Not only have I not seen any racial issues, it's been the opposite. I'm the only Black person within my organization on the data team as a data engineer. These people worship the ground that I step on, and I think that all came from how well I impressed them in the interview. These people just see me as a person that's highly skilled and looking to be molded. So for them, they know how precious people like us are. So when they find somebody that's good and is actually enthusiastic, they want to keep you. My company is like a Google or a Facebook type company as far as they're trying to keep up with the trends and do everything that the big company's doing. And being a black guy, I'm sure they're getting some kind of kickback from the government. So I feel like that's even an extra incentive for them to be opposite and kind of make me feel well. As far a big thing that they talk about is cultural fit. And I feel 100% comfortable there because a big part of IT in general are people from foreign countries. So if you can imagine, it's kind of, sometimes it's a language barrier, communication barrier, when you're a manager trying to deal with someone who doesn't speak the same language as you as a first language. So being an American, being a minority, and being skillful, you have all the tools that you need to really just take over. It's up to you where you go from there, but they're appreciative for us.
Learn the ins and outs of IT and launch your IT career in just a matter of weeks with the help of Lifting the Veil IT Academy, an information technology academy that is created to help individuals quickly acquire the skills they need to launch an IT career that'll make them more money than ever could have imagined. Starting on January 23rd, Lifting the Veil will be offering weekly night classes covering everything you need to be successful in IT and beyond. And when we say beyond, we mean it. Just listen to what students say about us.
Hi, my name is Rakeem. I took Lifting the Veil Academy with Sub, and it took a while, but I'm here. I made it. I'm now an SSRS developer. I started on the 13th, making a rate of $48 an hour. And, you know, this works. Everything that Sub has said has come true without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay, my name is Herman. And I'm from Africa.
He took the class in Benin, Africa. He was calling me on WhatsApp, asking questions. Let me tell you something. This brother was so dedicated. Look, I don't know. I think when I was teaching class at 8 o'clock, it was like 3, 4 in the morning, man. He was at every class. He would call me in the morning over there, which, I mean, when I woke up, he would, you know, of course, he would call me and he would be asking questions. And this brother got his skill set in Africa, in Benin, Africa. Sometimes he say he was at an internet cafe sometimes. And then he put his resume out there. He called me. He said, man, help me with my resume. I helped him. I gave him a little, he wanted me to help him with some other stuff. And listen to what he said. He got a job. He flew out. He's in Canada right now working. They paid for a visa. They were so impressed by this brother. And I told him he lives on the other side of the world. I got another brother that got skills from Singapore, but he's from America, but he lives in Singapore. I helped him get a job. And then I think he moved to Taiwan now. I think he's in Taiwan, but let's go.
Benin, West Africa. So I just landed a junior BI consultant position. So yeah. So my pay rate is a total package of 71,000 Canadian dollars.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Sabrina. I'm one of the students that was in the Dispelling IT Academy course. Let me put this message out here to you. So I was teaching, I've done 20 years, first grade, just learning a new career. And I jumped into class, learned some amazing things about coding, learned that it's not as hard as you think it is, simple, you just need to practice. Loving what I do, have the opportunity to work from home. Yes, I took a step out and went on faith that had it not been for this course and the leader of this course and the timing, I would not be doing what I want to do. Love what I do, love the people.
Sign up for a free consultation and see where this industry could take you.
Go to www.ltvacademy.com. It's .ltv Academy. I need to change that. I will. But anyway, I'm about to wind it down. Does anybody have any closing remarks or comments? Ant, I see you just came back. You got anything, Ant?
Just pretty much if y'all If y'all take the chance, this is probably be the best investment you can have. Like $297 a month for 3 months. What does that come out to? $900. Some people charge $5,000 to $10,000 for this type of information. Like this really would be the best investment you would make. So I know it's around tax season. Like if you got the money, just you would be surprised if you just take the time and stick to the plan because people that did it, man. No tech experience, and it's happened time and time again. Like just trusting yourself and just investing in yourself. That's all I got to say.
And how many times? And I can ask all these guys on this panel because I know their phones are ringing like crack right now. Like, how many times a week do you get a call from somebody trying to offer you a job?
I get more so emails. I have I have that Gmail number up there, but I think I took it off of there. But I'm literally getting job offers like at least 5, 10 a day. Like
That's what I'm talking
literally
about.
though, like fully remote, all type of stuff. I guess you can consider it hybrid because I can work from home anytime I want to, but I usually go into the office. But it's all type of work out there for these skill sets, honestly.
That's
Yeah, I
it.
got something I can
That's it.
say, so
Go ahead.
just to bring a little bit of perspective around. So I've been working on my job about 2 months. We just hired a new guy. I'm the newest person, but we just hired somebody new. This kid just graduated from college with his master's. He has a degree, his undergrad in finance, and he has his master's in IT. This kid knows, I mean, probably 10 different languages as far as programming languages. He's very technical, and he did a lot of this stuff self-taught. Well, he's coming in with probably 4 times the knowledge in IT that I have, but he's coming in as a junior data engineer, and I'm his mentor. Mind you, I have in reality about a year's experience of knowledge, but just because of the information and the way it was taught to me to take the fluff out of everything, I didn't have to take 8 years of school like he did, and I'm probably making about 20K more than him, and I'm his senior. Not to brag, or I'm sure we're gonna help each other, but that's the kind of position that you're being put in. You're not just walking in to be just a basic entry level person. You're coming in, even at an entry level position, you're making serious money and you're contributing to a project. Is
Oh man, he dropped off. Or yeah, he dropped off. I let him. He'll probably come back. But yeah, now that's impressive, bro. If I do say so myself, I mean, I'm impressed with that. I mean, he's out here, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, man, and I can't even take credit for this, bro. And I always tell my students, I'm like, look, you guys did it. Every time a student call me, I got a job. Like, man, I'm proud of you. You did it. I didn't do nothing. All I do is put the information out. Now, I think what separates this course from any other course out there is it is nurturing. I damn near hold your hand, man, and we walk you through. This is a select statement. This is a database. This is a table. This is SQL Server. This is connecting to the server. You have to have credentials. You have to be. We give you all that. From that to, hey, when you in the stand up tomorrow, this is what an average day at your last project was. Because they always ask that question. Well, walk me through an average day. Walk me through how you would, we're doing performance tuning and we need you to tell us about this or tell us about that. Tell us about a time where well, guess what? You get all those stories from me. And if you don't, and you screw up on the interview and you don't get the job, guess what? You recorded it. We ain't fair. We don't play fair. You record the interview. We call me. Guess what we do? We go through it. I'll be like, bro, you messed up. You shouldn't have said this, man. Next time, say this. Next time, say that. That's what we do. Then you go back on another interview. Somebody asks you that question. You waiting on them. And you pounce on them the minute they say, oh, yeah, I've dealt with that. Basically, what you do is you da-da-da-da. I'm like, and they're like, oh, man, that's impressive. Not knowing, like Lima, who's teaching the class coming up on the 23rd. Lima I have a few recordings of her interviews. I'm not going to play them, but she got her first interview and just blew out of the water, right? But she recorded it. And she called me. She was upset. She was like, man, I had it. I got nervous. I said, it's cool. Let's go through it. We went through it. It was just a couple of points. Lima was a natural. She didn't even know it. She was working in a call center, right? I said, man, you a natural. I remember I was teaching the class. I knew she was going to be good. I was teaching the class. By the end of the class, she knew everything. I was like, this girl is ready, right? She went through the interviews real quick, and she got a job like in weeks. I was not surprised. But the thing is about her, and that might be you don't know until you take the class, really. But the thing about her, we went through the interview, we listened to it, and she was able to, oh, okay, I see where I messed up. Well, guess what? She did another interview, and she went in that next interview, and she killed it. They were asking questions. She was damn near, as soon as they said, she was getting the answer ready. Like, I feel sorry for some of these interviewers because sometimes they ask the rudimentary, like, note card questions that I give my students. I'm like, oh, they about to kill this. Because what I do, I give you the interview questions like in advance so that you already, I say, hey guys, cut these note cards up, start making these note cards and go throughout your day, go through the note cards, make sure you use your memorization, make sure you understand what we're talking about. What's this? What's that? How do you do this? How do you do that? So by the time you get on these interviews, you're already competent enough to be able to speak authoritatively on certain subjects like performance tuning. You may never have performed anything, but they don't know that. And so just like Charles was saying a second ago before he got dropped, he was like, man, I came in and impressed these people so much, they gave me the senior position. So if he stay at that company, sound like he going to probably be damn chief information officer in a minute. If you stay there about 6-7 years, that's usually how it works. I've seen this too many times. So you move up the ladder, next thing you know, they're paying you sitting on the board next to the CEO, and they don't know, little do they know, you didn't have no experience coming in the door. But I'm not going to let you go out there. I'm pretty much, what I try to do is download my 14 years of experience into each and every one of my students. So when you come in there, it's almost unfair and that's what we want. But you have to follow directions. That's what I always say. If you don't follow directions, if you don't study, your chances of getting cut in half every time. Not to say you can't make it, because I've had certain students that took the class. Brother out of Chicago took my class, and then he didn't follow directions. He took the sequel part, he passed. He kept flunking the SSIS piece, got frustrated, started putting his resume out. And I tell students not to do that because I don't think you're ready yet. And he messed around and got a job. And he called me like, hey, man, I did it. I was like, I know you told me not to do it, but I did it anyway. And I got it. I say, hey, man, good, congratulations. It's about winning. You can get a job with just knowing SQL a lot of times in this space, the data space. That's mostly what I know is data. Now, I have people that are all Salesforce. I have people that are all Oracle, like my brother. And we're bringing in somebody that's going to be doing front-end development next, which is, Java and stuff like that. But at this point, I want to let Charles, you got anything you want to continue? Because I know you were saying something before you fell off.
No, I was just letting y'all know the benefits that you're getting with this. You coming in at more than the entry level person. You coming in respected, and you coming in paid like that. That 6-figure income that I got, they gave that to me easily because they feel like they got a deal. These guys in this industry, they know what they're worth, and they make sure they're treated that way. So, but in turn, that's the way I was treated, even though I didn't expect that coming from the area that I was from. So I can only say good things about it. That's all I was really talking about.
Okay, well, I appreciate it, brother. Let's see. Landreas, he just got his job the other day. So he just down to the last interview. Landreas, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so
you got any closing words?
I just echo those same sentiments as Charles there. And also what you just said, like you gave pretty much the cheat code for success. So if you get into the program, just follow instructions, stay the course, keep on, and just persevere. Because I was one of the earlier students that had to quit. Certain things came up, and I came back. And this time I was able to persevere there. And it's money well spent. I can't speak highly of the program enough. And I actually plan on coming back to get a little bit of that Tableau and Power BI as well. So I got the money to pay for it now.
That's it. That's it, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you, brother. All right,
All
Marvin.
right, man.
Marvin is one of my instructors, and also Marvin, his brother Maurice is there too. If Maurice wanted to say something, Marvin, y'all there?
Yeah, we
Marvin?
hear sub.
Yeah. Go ahead. So
Yeah,
what y'all got, man? What y'all think?
Yeah. I mean, let me say salute to Charles and my boy Dre here, for landing their gigs, and yeah,
Thanks to you. It was your fault, bro. Thank you. You did it for us.
yeah, and let me say, Charles, yeah, that is crazy, bro, that you got a master's degree guy coming under you, man. But I think that really speaks to the power of this, this thing Sub put together, man. Because honestly, yeah, like I said, Maurice went to the University of Alabama. He studied chemical engineering. I studied computer science, and yeah, kind of. If I were like given the option, hey, which would you rather do? Man, I'd rather go with this, because honestly, this is more like you come in here, you learn exactly what you need to know. You get exposed to the technology that you need to know, and then you're out. And then at that point, like you ready. You can get out there, you start interviewing. Like I said, you got a network of people you can reach out to if you need feedback on interviews, or if you need help or anything like that. Like this is this is a pipeline, man, to get out there as quickly
That's
as
it. It's
possible.
basically is Black Wall Street in tech. That's what it is, in the sense that we're building a community or a mastermind group of like-minded individuals that know, hey, we came from nothing. We got it out the mud. We're here. It's people doing stuff I don't have nothing to do with no more. Like some of the stuff like that, what Charles and Andreas and Thaddeus, what they did was impressive because they did that on their own. Yeah, I used to always say, hey guys, y'all need to start studying together, have your study groups. I don't control those study groups. I don't come to those study groups. They took it on their own. They took pride in themselves. And there was a book I read years ago about these three guys that made a pact with themselves to become doctors. And it was all from the hood. And all three of them wound up being doctors. That's what I'm thinking of when I see this. I see stuff that's impressive what these brothers did. Thad, for some reason, he wasn't able to come up, but Thad's another brother. He got a job. So right now, where we are, guys, we're trying to create a myriad of like just a laundry list of Black men, women, and whoever that has come through this program and gotten skills. And that's it. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to come from beyond the shadows. And when I first started, I was very covert. I was like, hey, don't mention me. Don't say nothing about, hey, that you took this course. I don't want people knowing. Because I guess, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I was putting stuff on your resume that you hadn't done. I'm just telling you what I would do, right? And I was a little nervous about that at first. But now, especially after having talked to some people I know from India about it, I talked to a guy a while ago. He's like, man, look, in our country, we can go, and for $300, I can get a master's degree. I can get a bachelor's. I can get certifications. They'll send somebody in India to take the certification test for you. Like this is literally, they have businesses that you go to where you pay people. It's a business. It's not like where, oh, that's some old underground, like you get it at the barbershop, they selling it in the trunk. No, they have like brick and mortar places where you can go in India with like $1,000 and come out with all types of stuff. Certifications, degrees. This is a culture over there. That's why, and I hate to say this, that is why they dominate over here. Because I remember my brother told me about a project he was on where this guy was getting like $100 an hour and he didn't even know how to connect to the database. Real talk. He got in there and couldn't connect. He said, man, he couldn't believe it. He's like, how did this guy get past the interview? But you can't tell. You don't know who you're interviewing. He just walked in there. They don't know who he is. They never saw him in person. He said he was the guy, and he started trying to work. And I was like, wow. He's like, man, he actually lasted like 2 weeks before they fired him. Because he didn't know anything. But still, he's like, this guy got 2 weeks at like $100 an hour. That's $8,000 he made off them people in 2 weeks and was gone. And my thing is, at the end of the day, guess what? If you bump around, you fail your way to success. Every guy, they say the average millionaire has started and failed in 18 businesses by the time he becomes a millionaire. I always tell my students, man, look, you ain't got to love IT. You do this, man. Start a business like Ant was talking about. and ain't gonna be in IT for long. I can tell the way he talk. You know what I'm saying? He gonna probably do something else. But that's what I want, man. I want to be, remembered as a guy that tried to help people. Lifting the veil is my legacy. I want to make sure that my name is very important to me. I'm like Marlo Stansfield from The Wire. I'm very serious about my name and my reputation. And so for me, I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna make sure that if no one shows up, I'm gonna have somebody there. I've never had. I think I may have had, like, out of 4 years, I may have had 2 or 3 classes where somebody wasn't able to do it. And I think one was my homeboy Sean, and he was sick. I think he had COVID, and he couldn't teach. And that was the Salesforce class. Other than that, no, he was in the emergency room for something. I can't remember what it was. But other than that, we meet up, man. We meet up. We're consistent. We keep our word. Because for me, I think just because you're paying me $297 doesn't mean you don't deserve A1 service. I went to get an oil change today. They closed at 7 o'clock. And the bays were closed. I was there at 5 o'clock, actually 4:55. And the guy said they were closed. Like, this is the type of, I don't want to, just because you see a black face, think that, oh, well, he's not going to give us good service. No, man, you can call me. You can text me. If you don't understand something, I'll explain it. I find myself explaining code to people in the middle of the week sometime, not in class. But I'll do that if that's what it takes to make sure you're going to get there, because those students that are really wanting and hungry and thirsty, I can't tell them no. When I first started this academy, I wanted to quit. I made it 4 or 5 times. I was like, hey, this is going to be the last class. I don't know if Marvin remember that. He might be the oldest student I had on here. I think before Marvin, I don't know if they were the last class or not. Well, you the guy, was I saying that back when you took it? Or was it, what was I saying?
Yeah, actually you was. So I think you was saying, I think you did say we was going to be the last class.
Exactly. Like, I really wasn't thinking, okay, I'm going to turn this into a business. I wasn't thinking like that. I was just, man, I'm just trying to help some people. And I ain't gonna even tell you what I charged at first. I charged $400 the whole class. And I would teach 3-4 months straight for $400, 5 days a week. That's how much I would teach. I'm not trying to brag. I'm saying that to say I was doing this to give back, to help people. It wasn't like I could make more money getting an extra project on the side. But I said, no, I'm gonna go and help some people. And it became fulfilling when I saw these people get jobs and they changing their lives. I was like, man, I like this feeling of helping people and seeing people, get on out there and take over and change their lives and their situation. The confidence that Mark has when I first met him. When I call Mark now, he's a husband, right? I think he's about to be a father. He just bought a house. He has his own business. He worked 2 projects, making $250,000 a year. He a completely different man. When I first met him, unemployed, sleeping on his mama's couch, didn't know what he was going to do, and depressed. Completely different man. And Mark taught y'all. Mark used to come fill in for me sometime, and he'll teach class. Right? So anyway, Maurice, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, he here, so.
Yeah. Just like I
Maurice,
said,
you got any closing word? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, please take the class. I remember coming out of college, I was actually employed at a chemical company. My salary was $45,000 a year. Bachelor degree, chemical engineering. Man, that wasn't much money, and I hated it there. Then after that, I was at a manufacturing company. Same thing. Hated it there. Like, I pretty much doubled my salary going into subs class. So just bet on yourself, take subs class, and get the concepts, what he's trying to teach, and you can get there just as much money that we're getting now. So I would say just take the class. Yeah. Don't wait. Take the class, get the consultation, and do it. You can do it.
Yeah, and just for reference, I would say based off my last gig before I took sub class and got an IT, like I have 5 decks that I was making, pretty much from then to now. So
and we have one student. Go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, and also like I said, bro, like this really just changed my whole life, honestly. Like I'm saying, like like Sub and like a couple other like other people, man, from our group. Like we just recently went out to Vegas like a couple months back, and we finally met up. You know, it was a good time, and like let me tell you, like a year and a half ago, that would have been that would have been unheard of. That would have been out of the question, man, because I probably couldn't afford to do something like that. But now it's just, you know, it's just
Yeah,
nothing.
that was a $700 ticket out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
That was not cheap.
Yeah. You ain't lying. That ticket wasn't cheap. It was not cheap. And then it's Vegas, so you know you're gonna spend some money, but you know, hell, it wasn't nothing.
It was a bunch of black brothers there, all us having a good time, man, just chilling, man, having a good time.
Well, and Denise, don't forget Denise was there as well.
Yep. Shout out to Denise. Shout out. That's one of my students too.
Yep.
This brother here, I got to show this brother here some love by the name of Johnny. Rest in peace to Johnny. Johnny was one of my old former students. Johnny, I got to play his testimonial. Shout out to him. Rest in peace. I know, but he died. But he is, some health complications, some things he had. But this brother was a genius level brother, man. I was very impressed with him. He was so impressive that I remember him coming to class. He was like in my first or second class. And my wife was like, who is that? He is good. Like just the stuff, the way it's weird, man. It was like, this is what you should have been doing. He was working in a factory. I want y'all to hear this. This is an amazing story. Watch this.
Go ahead. All right. This is John.
Not hearing anything.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
Oh man. That's the thing about this platform. I can't pull it down. So he's basically saying he quadrupled his income and stuff, and you'll hear it on the website. Like when you go to the website, scroll down, click on Johnny, and just listen to the other testimonials as well. Shout out to JC, this brother right here out of Tennessee. He was in Vegas with us. We had a good little time in Vegas, man. Was Anthony? Anthony didn't come. He wanted to come. I got another brother. I got a few people, man. Ian, and there's another Ian from London. I hadn't even got his testimonial yet, but he's been working for about 6 months now. He's looking at other jobs and stuff now. So
he just got his second job.
He did. Okay, good.
In January. Yep.
Good.
Yeah,
good
he just started this week. I called him the other day. He just started this week. He's doing this whole like onboarding and he's actually about to get started. Yeah, I think this week coming up. So
good. That's good, man. That's good, bro. Tomorrow I'm gonna be on Bernard Riley's channel in the morning. I don't know if you guys are working. Some of y'all might be. Some of y'all, if y'all in healthcare, some of y'all might be shut down tomorrow. Because a lot of us work in healthcare companies, but I got 2 jobs. They're both in healthcare companies. Both of them shut down tomorrow. So we just chilling. And I'm going to Tuscaloosa tomorrow anyway, because I'm learning about some options and stuff like that. But tomorrow morning, I'll be on Bernard Riley's channel, and I'll be talking to him about this as well, about the course, and we're going to see what we can do, man. So God bless y'all, man. I just put the link right here. This is the link, ltvacademy.com. Come check it out, man. Look, if you want to kick the tires, click book consultation. When you click that, it'll come right here. You'll get a calendar. You can go in. Let me go ahead and show y'all real quick. If it'll let me log in. Let me show y'all real quick. No, it's not. Golly, I thought I was already logged in. I guess not. Let me see, because I don't feel like typing it. I think this is it here. Yeah, no. Is that it? Let me see. Depending on the browser, to just populate. Is that? Yep, that in. There we go. Anyway, when you come here and go inside the portal, once you become a member, this is what it looks like. And this allows you to, you come here, you click this, this will take you directly to class. You'll go into a meeting, go to meeting link, and it'll open up and you'll be able to see the person's desktop. They'll start teaching. This is my class here. Well, it used to be, but actually, this is the class that Marvin taught, actually. But you click this go to meeting link and it opens up, and that's how it works, man. So, I want you guys that if you really want to take this class, don't hesitate to sign up for a free consultation and do what you got to do. We got Facebook groups, we got quizzes, self-study course. And oh yeah, by the way, everything is recorded too. So if you miss class, everything is recorded. So literally, the class that they were talking about with the class they were talking about with Fred is right here. This is the class. And that's everything, every class he taught is right here. So you if you miss anything, you can go back and watch the classes. So and we're gonna revamp, man. I'm upgrading. I'm really focused on growing this and making this a better course for people so that you guys can do, get your money's worth. I even did a Power BI class. This is a class I taught on Power BI. But I taught it again about a month ago. And not a month, about 3 months ago, 3-4 months, I taught Power BI. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was August. And I taught Power BI, and I went and got some Python. We started playing with a little Python. Really was just an introduction. It wasn't like I taught it in depth and gave them reports and told them. I did give them homework, but wasn't anything major. But it's enough for you to be able to kick the tires and get started. But next time is going to be a lot more in depth. That's what we're trying to do. So anyway, that's where we are. God bless y'all, man. Y'all have a great day. I want to say thank you to Viral Hip Hop News for letting me come on here and be on the takeover, and just, teaching what I, putting out what I do. And, if anybody wants to reach out to me, like I said, when you call me, I give you my phone number. We can talk, man. It ain't nothing. You got some questions, hit me up. I talk to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to talk to anybody, man. Hit me up. I like doing consultations anyway, because then I get to learn about the aggregate of the community, the Black community, and see all these different people from all different walks of life. And that's why I say what I say about certain skill sets, because I have consulted with people that have went to these community colleges. They've went to these trading boot camps, these coding boot camps, and yet they struggle to get a job, or they get a job and it's $12, $15, $20, or they get a job and it's $50,000, but they stressing them. I'm like, bro, what happened? He's like, man, I took this community college course, and hey, man, you probably need to come take it, and we tweak it. And sometimes I point people in other directions. Hey, man, I want to know cybersecurity. Well, I don't do that yet, but I tell you what, I can send you over here to somebody else and go talk to this guy or that guy. That's what we do. So anyway, man, God bless. Like I said, I'll be on Bernard Riley's channel in the morning. God bless y'all. Y'all have a great day.